booth off to the side, and they weren't talking, which was kind of interesting because in Speak Now you have a character who doesn't actually enjoy talking, and so they were semi-related, but not quite. Well, I wanted to show it from a different standpoint. In Speak Now, he just doesn't like to talk. Kara speculates that the vocal vibrations and stuff really actually bother his ears. And she's probably right. But in this book, at first I didn't have one of the important things that I think I eventually put in there. It didn't have one of the most important things. It didn't have the fact that the main character, one of the main characters, really does like to talk a lot. He talks too much. He tends to dominate conversations. He tends to have a lot to say. He's a very intelligent man. He's a teacher, and it's kind of a personal and occupational hazard, right? And so I wanted to show what would happen if someone in that position chose not to speak, you know, forced himself to just listen. And so this book was really good for me because I talk for two reasons. Well, really three. I talk when I'm uncomfortable. That's when I usually run my mouth and say a lot of very embarrassing things just to fill the space because for some reason I'm uncomfortable. It's kind of a coping mechanism because I'm actually naturally quite shy. I talk when I'm excited, when I'm really passionate about something. I talk a lot. And then, of course, I talk if I'm just enjoying the conversation. And so, for me to just sit and listen is a treat. But for me to just sit and listen is also usually at the same time quite frustrating because if I'm really enjoying the conversation, I want to engage. I want to ask questions. I want to give my opinion and see what someone else thinks of it so I can learn and have fun, you know. So just to listen for the sake of listening is very hard for me because usually when I am just listening, as nice as it is to understand other people, I'm usually very much disagreeing with them and very much not enjoying it. And so it is rather hard. But it has taught me how, you know, learning how to do that has actually taught me how to just sit back and listen. And so the other thing that this book addresses is, and I use the word carefully because it is, I believe, overused and underused at the same time. This book addresses abuse. And it's not violent, I'm going to, you're in danger of being killed abuse, okay? But just that constant belittling, excuse me, that constant belittling that can come with people who are incredibly selfish and self-centered and only feel good if they can make others feel bad. And so this book also really does address that. I wrote it because I see myself in the main character, and I wanted to learn what he learned, and it was one way to learn it, you know. I also wrote it because I see a lot of, the main girl in here is Carlie. She's on the cover there. I see a lot of Carlies out there. I see a lot of women settling for, my goodness, all of a sudden my voice is just gone. I see a lot of women settling for a guy instead of waiting for the guy because they don't know that the guy is ever going to come. And I actually wrote a blog post about it. I'll link it down in the bottom because I think it's kind of important. I think we were designed to be with someone. That's how we were designed. In fact, I think God made a big point of that by showing Adam that all the animals had a companion, and he didn't before he brought the companion. I think he did that to show Adam how much to value Eve. And it's a beautiful thing, the way that God designed it. But we live in a fallen world now. And sometimes that means we're not going to have the things that we may have been designed to have, that health, you know, good food and water. You know, there are places in the world that don't have decent basic water, you know, and we were designed to have those things. But the fall of man has totally destroyed parts of God's creation, and it's only by His blessing that we're here at all, right? And so I wanted to really press the idea that, guess what? We can be content. And this is super easy for me to say. I know that it's really hard for me to even say this, because I know that coming from someone who's been married for 28 years now, I don't know what it's like to be single. I've really never been single. And so it's really easy for me to say, just be content where you are, wherever the Lord has you. But I have had that in other areas of my life where I've wanted something, or I feel like we were meant to have something else, but we aren't. And I've had to accept that God is enough for me despite that. And so I really wanted to hint at that, but I was pressing more for don't settle for the wrong guy. I thought it would be too much to really, drive home, just be content wherever you are, because you do a double whammy in there, and then it becomes preachy, and then it becomes icky, and I don't like preachy fiction, so I really try hard not to write it. The cover design on this book, most of this book takes place in a restaurant. Each week you get a different perspective. So one week you primarily get Dean, the man's perspective, and the next week you'll get Carlie's. But they meet every week, and Dean never talks. And Carlie has a lot to say, and he becomes kind of a personal therapist. But so I really wanted to show the restaurant aspect of it, and then there is a lot of coffee involved, because that just kind of seems to be the American thing these days. So I just put her reflected in the coffee cup, and then they meet at the Fiddle Leaf Cafe. The back of the book has a tagline: "The Fiddle Leaf Cafe, lunch is so good they'll leave you speechless." And so because of that, I made the cover green, but I did not make it Fiddle Leaf green because I wanted it to be pretty, and it wouldn't have been. So yeah, so here's the cover. It's pretty. The back is like a menu. And yeah, I really love this book. There is going to be a sequel. It's going to be kind of a dual timeline sequel, far in the future, showing what happened in the past, and I'm really looking forward to writing it. So anywho, here's Corner Booth, and I don't think there's a book trailer for it yet. I still haven't done that after 3 years. So I won't be linking to the book trailer, but maybe someday I'll actually get to make that. Or maybe I'll do a screenshot and show you how I made the book trailers. That might be kind of fun. So anywho, screen capture or whatever. So that was Corner Booth, and I hope you have a great day. And